Touchdown, Alabama, let's get it.
The process, no one can stop this. Hottest show in the streets, I bet you can't top this. Rammer, jammer, yellow hammer, come see how we rock this. Alabama fans the best, there's no way you can top this. Recruiting news and interviews, just sit back and watch this.
Recruiting news and interviews, just sit back and watch this.
The process.
The week is officially upon us, and we are officially now a couple of hours away from National Signing Day. I know a lot of you are excited. I am excited as well. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode of The Process, a day before National Signing Day, the first signing day of the 2021 recruiting cycle. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. Also, be sure to leave a like whether you are subscribed or not. I am your host, Justin Smith, the scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama magazine. You guys can find me here on Touchdown Alabama's YouTube page every Tuesday and Thursday on The Process, breaking down the latest in Tide football recruiting news. So we are going to preview National Signing Day on this episode. For those of you who do not know, we will be live throughout the day tomorrow, starting at 7 a.m. live on Touchdown Alabama's YouTube page, covering National Signing Day. We will break down each signee as they come in, talk about some of the announcements that are going to happen tomorrow. We will also be joined by some of the Tide's newest signees on the show as well. So be sure to tune in throughout the day. I will be joined by Stephen M. Smith. We will cover this class from top to bottom, turn it inside out, break it down, break down positions, break down each signing. We will have you guys covered throughout the day, so be sure to join us on our YouTube page. Also, be sure to subscribe so you can get a notification sent to your mobile device. I am excited. I know you guys are as well, so be sure to join me and Steven tomorrow starting at 7 a.m. But on this episode, like I said, I want to preview National Signing Day and what could happen for the Tide on tomorrow. So we are going to roll right into that. Well, let's get right to it. The Tide's 2021 recruiting class currently has 22 verbal commits. All 22 prospects are expected to officially become future members of the Tide's football team by signing their national letter of intent to the University of Alabama on tomorrow. This is huge for so many different reasons. The first reason is the fact that Nick Saban and the Tide's coaching staff will have the opportunity to focus on a couple of guys moving forward to the traditional signing period, a couple of guys that they really want to add to this 2021 recruiting class to finish it off. It is also huge because they get an opportunity to get a good number of these guys on campus early, give them the opportunity to enroll in January. They get the opportunity to see the Tide possibly prepare for a national championship. They also get an opportunity to compete in the off-season program, and they get a chance to play in the spring game, which is A-Day as well. So it is an awesome opportunity for recruits to get an opportunity to enroll early. The Tide is expected to enroll a good number of the recruits who they sign on National Signing Day tomorrow in January. So this is huge. The Tide signing 22 guys is definitely a big deal. That is why we are going to be on our YouTube page live throughout the day, breaking down each signee as they come in. We'll be joined by some of those guys. They will talk about them signing to the Tide, their future plans, whether they are enrolling early, if they are one of those lucky guys, or if they are choosing to enroll in the summer. What are some of the things they are going to be working on heading into that? We'll have plenty of those guys on the show tomorrow, so be sure to stay tuned with us throughout the day on National Signing Day tomorrow. But now I am going to talk about what a lot of people want to talk about on National Signing Day. You hope that your team can get a new commitment. I think that's what a lot of Tide fans, and a lot of fans, college football fans in general, like to see. They want their guys to get a new face on National Signing Day. Although the Tide would be fine if they do not get any new faces, because this class is pretty put together. You have possibly the best offensive line class ever already verbally committed, expected to sign. You have an elite wide receiver group in Christian Leary, Corey Brooks, and AJ Hall. You have a deep linebacker room with Dallas Turner, Kendrick Blackshear, Deontay Lawson, and Ian Jackson. An athletic defensive back group with Quincy McKinstry, Kyrie Jackson, Devontae Smith, along with Kadarius Callaway and Kane Williams. So this class has answered a lot of questions for the Tide moving forward, just looking at the commits that they currently have. So the Tide is in good shape if they do not get a single commitment on tomorrow. I know a lot of fans want to hear that the Tide has a new commitment. It comes on ESPN. Oh, the Tide had grabbed a huge guy over this school and that school, and it was live on ESPN. I think that has a lot to do with the flashiness of National Signing Day. A lot of fans want to see their team pull in a new guy, a new face, but the Tide has done most of their work before the National Signing Day, which is something we have seen Nick Saban and the Tide's coaching staff do over the last couple of recruiting cycles quite effectively. So again, the Tide will be quite okay if they do not sign a new face on tomorrow. The traditional signing period is still a couple of months away. They are still expected to be in play with a couple of guys still on the board. But looking at the guys who are expected to announce their commitment tomorrow, a couple of guys who are considering the Tide, you have to look at Tunmise, Adeleye, along with Xavier Worthy, the 4-star wide receiver, Xavier and Sorey as well. You also have to look at Mason Smith, the 5-star defensive tackle. Starting with Adeleye, early on in his recruitment, the Tide was a huge player. They arguably were the leader for Adeleye early in his recruitment. They were expected to get him on campus in March, but unfortunately they were unable to due to the NCAA implementing a recruiting dead period due to concerns over the spread of COVID-19. He eventually committed to the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Tide's coaching staff stayed in contact with Adeleye even when he was committed to Ohio State. He eventually decommitted, and the Tide once again looked like a huge player in his recruitment. They continued to look like a decent player even when he was committed to Ohio State. So once he decommitted, it looked like they were in a good position to land Adeleye. He told me when he was committed to Ohio State that the Tide's coaching staff was in contact with him every day. He eventually cut his top school list down to 3 schools. Those schools were Florida, well, those schools are at this point, Florida, Texas A&M, and Alabama. The Crimson Tide are in a good position with Adeleye, have continued to be in a good position with the Texas product, with them including them in his top 3. But Texas A&M is right there along with Florida. Is the argument that the Aggies are the favorite to land Adeleye on tomorrow. This is not a huge surprise considering what Texas A&M has been able to do when battling it out with Alabama on the recruiting trail for defensive linemen. Going back to when they were able to flip Bobby Brown to the Aggies on National Signing Day a couple of years back, and most recently when they were able to get a signature from McKinley Jackson when the Tide really looked at very interested in Jackson before the traditional signing period on last year. So we have seen this happen in the past. We have seen Texas A&M come in and pull in a defensive lineman over Alabama. Adeleye is another candidate to do that. The Tide is still in the mix, but Texas A&M looks to be in a great position with them for tomorrow. It would not be a huge surprise if he committed to the Tide, but it would not be a huge surprise if we chose Texas A&M as well. Looking at Xavier Worthy, he is expected to choose from the school he is currently committed to, which is Michigan and Alabama. On tomorrow, he will announce his decision actually very early in the morning at 8 o'clock. As I said, we will be live on our YouTube page to break down his decision, what it means for the Crimson Tide, whether he commits to the Tide or signs with Michigan, keep his commitment to the Wolverines. But looking at Worthy, he's a guy who possesses a slim frame for the wide receiver position. He has some great speed in the open field. He runs some great routes as well, has some nice hands on him. He visited the University of Alabama in November for the Iron Bowl, and it looks as if that visit went pretty well. I think he actually has given the Crimson Tide a good look. During that visit, he actually took the visit with his mother. He actually got an opportunity to watch the Iron Bowl, where the Tide put on an awesome performance in a win over Auburn. He also got the opportunity to spend some time with the Tide's 5-star athlete commit JaQuincy McKinstry out of Pinson Valley High School in Pinson, Alabama. So I feel that he has given the Tide a good look. The Wolverines are right there. It's still a possibility they sticks with this commitment to Michigan. So it is just another one of those signings to pay attention to. The Tide has been given a good look at my mind. I think they are still in a good position if they do not land Worthy, especially looking at that elite wide receiver group that they currently have verbally committed. All three of those guys are expected to sign on tomorrow. All three are expected to enroll early at the University of Alabama in January. Another guy who will announce his commitment on tomorrow is Xavier Sorey, another guy similar to Adeleye, who with the Tide was once considered a huge favorite for it. And Sorey, especially very early on in his recruitment when Sorey first got to Alabama, he offered Sorey. He previously had a relationship with the Florida product dating back to his time with the Florida Gators. He was actually the first person to offer Sorey a scholarship in general as a coaching staff member for the Florida Gators. When he got to Tuscaloosa, as he said, he offered Sorey, and their relationship has continued to flourish. Sorey was on the campus of the University of Alabama for the Iron Bowl as well, because several recruits were in Tuscaloosa on that day. So Sorey was able to visit Tuscaloosa recently when I got an opportunity to interview him during his senior season at IMG Academy. He did say that was one of the things he wanted to do. He wanted to refresh everything before he made an official decision. So he did get a chance to refresh everything in Tuscaloosa. Once again, as I said earlier, the Tide did put on a dominant performance against the Auburn Tigers. So he got a chance to refresh everything pretty good. So I think his decision will be quite interesting. He may pick the Georgia Bulldogs, Florida Gators, or Alabama, which are the three teams listed in his final three. Georgia looks to be in a great position at the moment. Georgia has recruited linebackers and players in general pretty well. Kirby Smart does a great job on the recruiting trail, and the Crimson Tide and the Bulldogs consistently clash against one another. Sorey is another one of those guys. I think the Tide really like Sorey. If they miss out on him, I'm not sure if they want to add another linebacker, because that is where Sorey is expected to play if he was to sign with the Crimson Tide. So Sorey's announcement is something worth paying attention to. He will announce his commitment during the 12 o'clock hour on tomorrow. We will be live breaking down if he commits to the Tide, or commits and signs with the Tide, or commits and signs with Florida or Georgia. Georgia looks to be in a good position. The Tide has recruited Sorey really well. In my mind, he said he had a special relationship with the Tide's coaching staff, especially with the Tide's outside linebacker coach, Sorey. So we will pay attention to what Sorey does on tomorrow. The last guy to pay attention to when it comes to the Tide targets announcing tomorrow is Mason Smith, the 5-star defensive tackle out of Louisiana, a massive defensive lineman. He has the Tide listed among the schools that he is going to choose from on tomorrow. LSU, the home state school, remains in a good position with Mason Smith. So I definitely think this is something to pay attention to, with the Tide wanting to add another defensive lineman to the 2021 recruiting class. And Mason Smith would be a huge get in my mind. You're talking about a massive kid who moves very well for someone his size. Whatever team picks up Mason Smith is a lucky team, because I think he is a special talent in this 2021 recruiting class. So those are the 4 guys to pay attention to when you're looking at targets or new faces who could commit or sign with the Tide on tomorrow. You have to pay attention to Xavier Worthy, Mason Smith, Tunmise Adeleye, and Xavier Sorey. Tide is still in the mix. It does not look likely that it definitely does not look likely that they would sign all 3, but they are in the mix, at least at this moment. Recruiting continues to flourish. You may think that things are over the day before National Signing Day, but we have seen stranger things happen on the actual day with the pressure and drama that surrounds National Signing Day. We have seen stranger things happen, so things could get pretty interesting on tomorrow with these 4 guys expected to announce their decision. We will be live throughout the day. As I said, we will break down each signee as they come in. We will be joined by some of these guys after they sign. They will talk about the signing experience, talk about the future with the Crimson Tide, and much more. We'll also discuss the future of the Tide's 2021 recruiting efforts, dive into this class from top to bottom, pull it inside out, talk about the job that the Tide's coaching staff has done in this 2021 recruiting cycle, break down each signing in great detail. We are leaving no stone unturned. On tomorrow throughout the day, we will also have an opportunity to talk with you guys throughout the day. The phone lines will be open. It should be a great show starting at 7 a.m. on our YouTube page. Be sure to hit that subscribe button below so you can get a notification sent to your mobile device. But thank you guys so much for joining me today on our YouTube page. I am Justin Smith, the scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama magazine. Hope to see you guys on tomorrow.